Hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Michelle's like, wonder how late she's going to be this time. Just a few minutes. I figure that I don't normally have too many people waiting um, for my live streams, especially since I don't schedule them far enough ahead. So it gives, you guys a little bit of time to get in here. Just make sure my microphone's working so I don't have to repeat all that again. Okay, we're good. Cool. For now. So I was trying out my intro. Do you guys like it? My friend Tech made it for me. It was like really, really nice of him to think of me. And hey Alexis, hey Nuck and Futz. I know I do these streams late, but I I stream on D Live every day, like around 1 or 2. And usually by the time I'm done on D Live, it's like dinner time. So I have to do all that, and then after winding down, then it's about this time. Plus, if I try to stream like in the middle of the day on YouTube, there's always like so many other streamers. So we're doing live streams anyways. You too, Michelle. I went to check out your live stream because I missed it, and you removed it. But I know that, or I don't know, but I've noticed that you delete them afterwards, right? Well, what time would be good for you, Nuck and Futz? I'm just kidding. To be honest with you, I stream. I mean, especially on D Live, I stream at all different types of hours. But yeah, mainly 2 o'clock my time and late here. Yeah, I know YouTube. True, Michelle. Oh wow, it's 1:16. Yeah, that is late early. Well, I don't plan on being on here too long anyways. I always say that, of course, and then my live streams end up being like 3 hours. But that's just how they go because I end up getting on rants or something. So, but I'm trying to still do these live streams on YouTube for those of you who are not on D Live, because the ones on D Live for the most part they don't really need or they are already woken. I don't even like to say that term. They're already woke for the most part. So it's just difficult to get some people to go over to D Live because it is, and I get it. YouTube, they're used to it. It's comfortable. Everybody's over here. But again, it just makes it really difficult for me to pretty much discuss anything. Almost to the point where I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. But then I know I say that, and as soon as I get another strike, I'm going to be really, really bummed because I did that. But it's like, how am I supposed to get my point across? How am I supposed to get this information out there? How am I supposed to show you guys different people talking about the same thing that I'm talking about and trying to show you guys? How am I supposed to give you other examples of these other orchestrated events without worrying about getting a strike? Like, I have so many like obstacles in my way. Is there 1 hour? Hey, good to see you. Well, one of these days I'll be able to actually like speak normal on my live streams. I should actually go back and like listen to a couple of my first live streams and just compare it to now and see if I've improved. I'm pretty sure I have. What channel is it? 1 hour. You can say who it is. I'm not one of those channels where I'm like, oh, don't mention any other creators. It's ridiculous. It's like, what's with the competition? Thought we were all here for the truth. I mean, unless someone's like talking poorly of them or something, but hey, Nelly. Oh, Mia. Yeah, I know Mia. I'm a moderator on her channel, and I been on Mia's channel several times. She knows my theory. I'm just trying to bring her over to the other side. She starts to get there, and then I think she kind of falls back with everybody else. And then again, I can't speak for her, but no, Mia's great. The other issue I have is even if, you know, there were other channel creators covering the case that even if they agreed with my theory or they thought that it might be possible, the majority of them are most likely not going to admit to that or agree with me, because by doing that, that means no more theories, you know, no more views, no more money. I mean, not. I mean, obviously they're still going to have views and their channels monetized, but we all know that the Chris Watts case for the majority of channels does bring in a lot of views. Hey, Jenny, good to see you. How are you? Hey, Dorothy. Gary Two Shoes is still waiting to hear about Chris Watts. Okay, we'll get there. Thanks for being here. Hey, Pride or Honesty. Wait, what? Did you see the one where they put out there, you are so right on point, the DA's wife is Kim, they found out? Huh? I'm confused. Kim Kaufman is DA Rourke's wife? I thought she was for the other team. Who knows anymore? I don't even follow that, any of that, because it's not relevant to my theory whatsoever. I mean, it is, but it's not, because I do think that a couple of them are plants. So I don't have, again, I don't have like any itinerary. I kind of just do these when I can. And but not only that, um, you know, unless there's some like damning new evidence that I find, um, I'm probably not going to have that much to new to give you guys, because you're not gonna. You guys know, if you've been following me, you know, for a while, that there's not going to be any drama on this channel, or drama or talk of drama. There's not going to be any of this lifetime BS made for women channel and the whole just, yeah, it's not, you're not going to find that on this channel. So it's all for entertainment. So I mean, I do have like a, again, I don't even know, I don't, Michelle, maybe you might know the answer to this. As far as playing like other body cam footage, when you're live, does YouTube make a big deal about that? Yeah, Dorothy, you're right. It's not a good it's not any source for true crime or for facts. It's strictly, I mean, they got so many things wrong with the Lifetime movie. Like there's so many, yeah, there's a lot of disinformation in there. But again, they have to hype it up because it's for entertainment and it's drama, specifically for women. And that's mainly the majority of people in true crime is women. You haven't had any problems with that? Okay, cool. I didn't know because of the like Denver news or whatever, the mainstream media outlets, if they were going to make a fuss. So I don't know if any of you here were if you were there for my D live stream that I did when I first came on YouTube. I went live and told you guys that I was going to do a stream on D live discussing the Honor Network. Well, I'm in the middle of the stream and I get this troll, and I hardly ever have trolls, which is probably, you know, a good thing about my channel still being kind of small. Because they're super annoying. Like I was already irritated with one. But they came in there going, you know, so why does the Honor Network need to kick rocks? Because I put that in my title. Well, kick rocks, Honor Network. And if you're not familiar with the Honor Network, or you haven't seen my video that I made about it, the Honor Network is a I have to turn the volume down on my earbuds. If I go like silent for, you know, a certain amount of time, please let me know, because I won't be able to tell if my microphone went out or not. Don't hesitate to let me know, please. But the Honor Network was started by Lenny Posner, who allegedly lost his son in Sandy Hook, nonprofit organization that claim to be advocates for victims of these, you know, victims' family members in these high-profile tragic events, and help them, you know, cope and whatnot. However, well, it's also they claim to stop harassment of these victims and death threats. They also have around 300 to 400 volunteers that literally go around social media and seek out any channel creators, or any videos that go against the mainstream official narrative, who are questioning any of these high-profile tragic events, even though the ones that are being questioned are the ones that have many holes and red flags and inconsistencies in their narrative. I personally have not seen anybody questioning any high-profile events that don't have these red flags in them. And we have every right. We have every right to question stuff that doesn't add up. So they're claiming that, questioning anything about these events is considered harassment towards the victims, when in actuality, it's not. It's simply asking questions. So, yeah, so I got this troll that came in there and immediately was like, why did you tell Honor Network to kick rocks? And I was like, well, I don't know, because I need to kick rocks, because they're going around and literally scrubbing all this information and trying to, stop people from questioning these tragic events, these well-documented events, they like to call them. And they go, so you think that nobody died? And I was like, well, look, I don't like to censor anybody. It's the last thing I want to do. I don't believe in censorship, but clearly you're only here for one reason. So after them saying a bunch of stuff and causing chaos, they were blocked. And then they immediately came in again with another screen name, did the same thing, and they were blocked and came in again with a different screen name. I'm like, well, I'll give you one thing. You are persistent or relentless. Hey, Nicole. Hey, Veronica. So yeah, it probably wasn't the best idea to put Kick Rock's honor. But oh well. I mean, I put the Honor Network, I put the title, I put honor in my title of my videos. Well, one video and I think maybe one or two live streams, but I definitely didn't tell them to kick rocks. So again, that might have been my first mistake, but hey, I'm allowed to say that. Why am I not allowed to say kick rocks? Honor, what's the big whoop, right? So again, I don't have anything planned. It will probably just be whatever comes up that we'll talk about. Is there any questions that you guys might have at all? And I can do my best to try to answer them. I'm sort of, I told myself, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to come out and I'm just going to say my theory. And I mentioned this a little bit ago, but I guess I'm just like in one of those moods, and I was like, I don't even care. Like, this is just wasting my time. It's just wasting everybody else's time. Not being able to, talk freely about and discuss my theory on YouTube, having to, try to wrangle people over to DLive and do one live stream on DLive, do another one on YouTube, and it's like almost impossible for me to do short live streams, which I should, because I know that a lot of people don't like to watch 3-hour live streams, replays. Okay, Dorothy, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming. Have a good night. But so I said, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna, if I say it, I say it, right? Of course, that was before I went live, and now I'm like, no, I don't want to do that, because and that would suck. I already have a warning strike, which doesn't go away. I have the strike where I accidentally streamed that documentary about the Federal Reserve because I forgot to log off of YouTube on Restream, and by that time it was too late. So it kind of sucks that I got a strike for something stupid like that. So yeah, so it would, I think it's been 2 months by now since I got that last strike, but so I think I'd be okay. But I don't know. Yeah, it is hard, Michelle, definitely. Because and that's the I think that was my issue for the first like year covering this case, because I was so, I wasn't as transparent as I am now, even though I'm still not able to be fully transparent. But that's not because I don't want to be. That's because YouTube doesn't let me be. But I was, worried about hurting anyone's feelings or disrespecting anybody that has been affected by this case in one way or another. Because I'm because I care. If I didn't care, I would just say, for I don't care what people think. This is the truth. Oh well, take it or leave it, right? Plus, I just don't think that's the best way to go about, I guess, waking people up. When you do that, people tend to get defensive immediately. They tend to feel like they're being backed into a corner, and all they want to do is like retreat. It might work on some people. I don't feel like that's the best way. Veronica, I don't know. I did hear that they dropped the Rusex. I don't. I'm not really sure about that. I wouldn't know how to confirm that one way or another. But um, regardless if they drop the Rusex or not, the Honor Network still has a one agenda, and that's to scrub the information from the internet. The Honor Network is responsible for several channels that covered the Las Vegas shooting for getting their channels taken down and all their videos scrubbed. Try to go on YouTube and look up the Las Vegas shooting and try to find videos on it that are not the mainstream media videos or anybody talking about the official narrative or supporting the official narrative. You're gonna have to go to other websites and you're gonna have to dig for them. They're there. I found many of them on this website that I use, and I get a lot of my content from for DLive. But I guess I haven't looked in a while on YouTube. But the last time I checked, you're not gonna find any of these thousands of videos that creators have made covering the Las Vegas shooting and doing the exact same thing that all these other channel creators are doing, but in true crime with the Watts case, trying to figure out what in the hell happened. Everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people thinking it's a cover up, that the LVMPD messed up or whatever. People still filing FOIA requests and getting denied. Same thing's gonna happen with the Chris Watts case. If any of these other channel creators are trying to get all this information about the case, well, they're gonna be very disappointed because they're not gonna get it. They can file as many FOIA or CORA requests as they want, but they're not. They're gonna keep getting denied. Hey, Ginger. Michelle, I actually found a just right before this live stream, I found a playlist of John Collins. Now, I'm not a huge fan of his. I think that I don't agree with all of his theories, obviously, but he did make several videos that I think were pretty good as far as pointing out a lot of the inconsistencies in the case. Hey, Irvin. Yep, you can discuss UFO, Hollow Earth, pyramids, just not flat Earth. You can discuss Hollow Earth, but not flat Earth. I don't know, but um, so like Melissa Jade, she's a channel creator that um, like, I don't know when she started her channel, but it's fairly new, um, covering true crime. But she's had a lot of really good, or great, I should say, conspiracy live streams that she's done recently. As far as like the Mandela effect, she's done Admiral Byrd, NASA, several other ones. And she's braver than I am. However, YouTube's not worried about those kinds of conspiracies, or they might be, but not as much as questioning the authenticity of a tragic event. Yeah, I know, Michelle. Yeah, he is. You're right. But oh, who's that? I was trying to remember his name, his channel name the other day, Michelle. What was his name? He made like he only made a few videos, but they were really, really good. And I don't remember exactly why he took his channel down. I think because everybody was giving him such a hard time, or he was getting harassed. I don't know, but I'm not gonna be able to remember it. One of his videos he did was the angle that the hotel room, like he used like not paint, but I don't know. I'll think of it. Hey, Christian. Hey, Elfin. Megan, did you see the interview with Nate's mom and Mexi did? Though Nate's mom was lovely, but last part she said thriving. Oh, geez. No, I didn't. Honestly, I have no desire to watch any of that. I have no idea. I don't even know what Nate's mom. Yes, HDRFX. Michelle, thank you. Oh my gosh, yeah, I never would have been able to remember that. Yeah, I was bummed when he stopped making videos because he made really good videos. What do you think? I'm curious, Michelle. What do you think of Jason Goodman? This should be interesting. I can't wait to hear your answer. And just like I have nothing against like what Mexi and Robbie are doing with the if they're still doing the paranormal stuff. That's their thing. But based on my theory, it's all um, bogus. I mean, it's very possible that it could be haunted, but are they the spirits of Shanann, Bella, and Cece? No, in my opinion, no. I had a feeling you were going to say that, Michelle. Like YouTube took HDRFX down. Yeah, I used to watch Goodman all the time, but more because of the guests that he had on. Oh, they did. They took. Oh, okay. Because see, what I heard was that he was just being harassed and by a bunch of people. I don't know. It was a long time ago, but so he just finally just had enough. But Like I just recently found a Jason Goodman live stream with Ole Damengard where they talk about the shoes, because I've not been able to find like a decent one where they talk just mainly, I would say just solely about the shoes. Get it? Solely. But but the one I found just happens to be with Jason Goodman, which I was thinking about playing on this live stream, but a little bit of it, not the whole thing. But the shoe thing definitely gets into the more conspiratorial part of my theory. But it's definitely relevant to the Watts case, because I'll tell you what, there's sure a heck lot of shoes being mentioned and shown in this case. Pretty weird. No, yeah, Elfin, I completely 100% believe in the paranormal. I've had a paranormal experience myself, just one, and I'm good with that, to be honest with you. I remember always saying it's no fair, like, because I've always been fascinated with ghosts and the paranormal and spirits. But um, I remember always saying, God, that's I want to go to a haunted hotel, or I want to see, why don't I ever see anything paranormal? And then after my experience, I remember thinking, I don't ever want to see anything paranormal again. And it wasn't even like it was like a bad spirit or like a demon or anything. I mean, as far as I know, they didn't come off that way. But that was like, one of the reasons why it was so convincing is that I didn't need to see another one after that. That was more than enough for me. Yeah, Tartaria is interesting. My friend Tech Tie and Sour D, they cover Tartaria on D Live. They've been doing it once a week, so it's really interesting. Yeah, you're pretty much, you're not allowed to. The main one you're not allowed to talk about is Sandy Hook. The next one is the Vegas shooting, and well, pretty much any of the tragic events that mainstream, high profile tragic events, well documented, they like to call it, and all the ones that just so happen to not add up. Weird. And I don't blame you, Elfin, about the watching the Watts videos. The only reason why, again, I'm still here is because, you know, um, it is important to me, and it's it's important because not only for myself, but for all of us. Because if seriously, if people don't wake up, and this again, I don't ever like to sound like dramatic, but maybe that's what I need to be, because you know, we're all gonna wake up one day, and um you're not going to have, you're not going to have any rights left there. I mean, they're already started taking them away slowly, bit by bit, and the majority of those people are going to go, what do you mean I can't talk about Chris Watts anymore? What do you mean I can't wake up and go watch my favorite YouTube creator and talk about this true crime, or why we think this happened in this case? Because you guys are the ones that begged for YouTube to do something about the harassment, quote unquote, of these victims and all these death threats towards the Ruseks and whatever other victims. Since when are victims ever sent death threats? First of all, if somebody's doing that, they're obviously sick, and that's for something for law enforcement to handle. But if you read the Honor Network's website, or if you watch my live stream where I cover it, they are literally trying to say that questioning these or talking conspiracy theories of these tragic events equals harassment towards the victims. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. And if you're a victim, or a victim's family members to one of these well-documented tragic events, the last place you should be is on social media. And not only that, but in the true crime community of all places on social media. Where that's all they do is talk about death and the deaths of your family members. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just, I tried to stay very neutral or as neutral as possible. Because last thing I want to do is sway anyone's opinions, right? Or be dramatic or emotional. Because that's not the whole purpose of my channel is to get people to think for themselves and to show how important it is to do that. Because not nobody, but I always say that, but the majority of people, there's so many people out there that don't think for themselves. It's scary. I mean, they will literally believe everything they're told. Now, is there anything, I mean, I would say that, is there anything wrong with, like, trusting in people and believing people? I mean, it's not like a bad quality, but like these days, unfortunately, like, you can't leave your doors unlocked anymore like you used to, right? And even then there was crime. But I mean, look around. This world is shitty. And there's some nasty, heartless people that don't give a shit about us. Whether it be, like the president or the Skull and Bones or Illuminati or whoever, all the way down to a channel creator on YouTube, people are shitty. And they're liars. Now, am I saying don't? I am saying don't believe anything you're told. But I mean, make people earn your trust instead of the other way around. Instead of automatically giving them your trust, make them prove that you can trust them by, them answering your questions, or by them not blocking you if you go against their theories or their opinions, if yours don't match. Let them prove themselves to you. Like, I don't care how convincing they are. I don't care how great they are with their words, or how much of a smooth talker they're. Like, you shouldn't believe it, especially when there's no evidence to back up what they're saying. Now, is there evidence to back up everything that I'm saying? Like, without a doubt, 100%, like on paper? No, but, my proof for you guys is in the patterns. And patterns are consistent. And I'm more inclined to believe something that keeps happening over and over and over again compared to something that I'm throwing all these theories out there and nothing makes sense, right? But I'm just trying to find the answer. Hey, Lisa. You know how many times I've seen a certain channel creator, one of these bigger true crime creators that I think you guys probably know who I'm referring to, literally show a picture, right? Let's say, I don't know, how many times have they showed of Nate's footage, right, in the driveway. Zoom in on the picture, like, I don't know how many times, to where all you see is a blur. Like, literally, I mean, the footage is horrible enough as it is, right? But to zoom in on it even more, like the more you zoom in on a picture, the shittier the quality is going to get. That's just how pictures work, right? So they'll zoom in and all you see is like just a whole bunch of blob and say, look, that's Nicole Kessinger right there carrying a child with a monkey on her back, wearing a unicorn horn and a tail. Like, and I'm obviously not being serious about that part, but the majority of people will believe it, even though the picture is just a blur. There's nothing to see there. You stare at something long enough, or someone keeps telling you over and over and over again that that's, or they're convincing you that that's what you see, then sure, you can see anything, you can see whatever the hell you want in that picture. It's called an imagination. We all have one. And if you're going to look at a picture or whatever, and if that's what you really, really want it to be, then you're going to tell yourself that's what it is, instead of actually going, hey, I can't see anything. I mean, and some people do, thankfully. Some people do. I see it sometimes, but it's rare, especially in that channel creators live streams. Hey, Sweet Pea. Every time I see your name, it reminds me of my chicken, Sweet Pea. But they will literally go, oh, I see it too. I totally see Nicole Kessinger walking out of the garage with carrying Cece with a purse on her shoulder, just like the same one that she had in her interrogation, or not her interrogation, but her interview, wearing a unicorn horn with a tail. Even though you can't see anything. You can't see anything. Hey, Bartwan, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. But they'll just believe it, and they'll convince themselves, with help of the channel creator, and convince themselves that they actually see that. And most of the time, if anybody does say, I don't see anything, I just see a blur, you can't see anything when you zoom in pictures like that, you get blocked or your comments get deleted. I would know because that's happened to me several times on that specific channel. So that should be your first red flag. And all these videos, the video footage that we got, the body cam, and the any just regular images, they've all been downgraded on purpose. Hey, TH. The quality of them they've all been downgraded on purpose. And I know this, that they have, because when that specific channel creator that I was just talking about, they somehow or another were able to get more pictures of Kessinger and Chris at the sand dunes, and some of Nicole Kessinger's selfie pictures, which I don't really care to see because they're not relevant to the case at all. Why do I want to see her selfie pictures? Show me something that's relevant, that's going to prove to me that this case even happened, right? But one, why weren't those pictures released with the discovery in the first place? And two, when this other channel creator got them, why were they perfect quality like they should be in 2018? Why is there so much static on Coonrod's body cam footage to where we can't even hear anything? We literally have to like strain to hear anything that anyone's saying. But then on Netflix, the body cam footage, Coonrod's, is clear as day. Which I don't know if clear as day is a good example or comparison, because I don't know if sound could be clear as day. Was okay. Anyways, or the The video footage of Kessinger at the police station was clear because everyone was like, oh, you can see her bald spot, which is, to me, in my opinion, it's not a bald spot. I've seen several women who have really thick hair and long hair, but when they pull their hair back, they have really super fine, like baby hair towards their hairline. And depending on how she pulls it back or how she brushes it, if she does it too tight, it's going to look like that. I don't know if there's like a medical term for that or whatever, or a special term, but I've seen it. My opinion, Nicole Kessinger's hair wasn't ripped out. She was not on drugs, and she could be doing drugs, but that's not why her hair looks like that, in my opinion. But anyways, that's not important. And Alexis, don't even get me started, please, on that bikini, because it's probably, no, I'm kidding, but I was going to say, it's probably the one thing that bothers me the most in this case is that horrible, horrible bikini. It's not really the thing that bothers me the most, but it is a horrible bikini. And there's so many out there to choose from. And for her to pick that one, I'm just like, why? Why that one? I don't get it. But so whenever a channel creator shows a picture, I'm like, why would you do this to me? Why would you do that to me? What did I ever do to deserve that, right? Yeah, it does, Elfin. It totally does. I mean, I guess it's kind of shocking to me, but not really. But I also spend a lot of time in like truth channel live streams and conspiracy channels, so maybe that's why it's a little shocking. But it's just it's scary. It really is. I mean, you name it. Like, there's so many people in this true crime community that will just believe it. It doesn't matter if it's coming from a pathological liar like Chris, or if it's coming from a author like Sherilyn, or a author, quote unquote, like Sherilyn Cadle, who got her information for her book from that pathological liar. But they'll go, oh, what did Chris say? What did Chris say? And because she's on all these channels. Cadle, Sherilyn, what did Chris say? Did he say this? How was he? Like, you can't take it as factual. I mean, she's literally getting her information from someone who has lied multiple times. Now, whether he's lying because he's playing a liar or because he's a liar in real life or both, you can't believe it. You have to take everything with a grain of salt. Like, that is not evidence. And to me, in true crime, I thought people are supposed to be looking for evidence. Yeah, you can have theories, but I mean, don't base anything off what a alleged convicted murderer says, who's changed his story multiple times. It's just it's crazy to me, and it's I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone every single day with this case. But then, and the craziest part is, I mentioned one thing about my theory in the chat, and it's like, you're crazy. You're crazy. That's stupid. That's ridiculous. I'm like, excuse me? My theory is ridiculous because and I guess I shouldn't use a specific example because I don't want to like make any fun of anybody for having like a theory, but there's some ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous theories about this case out there. Again, with no evidence to back it up. Hey, Orbital. Seriously, Elvin, totally. With the amount, it sucks. The amount of time that people have spent on this case, and that's I've mentioned this before. That's one of the things that really bothers me as well, is because there's so many, and I don't like to bring this up because again, it's going to get into that like dramatic and emotional part of it, but it's important to talk about because there's so many children that go missing. So many children that are murdered all the time. So many women, murder is real. That's not what I'm saying, right? That would be ridiculous. And here, so many people in the true crime community are like advocating and trying to find the answers for these victims in this case. But what about all of the other children or victims that have been, or people that have been murdered that don't make mainstream media? Who's advocating for them? Who's fighting for answers for them, right? Because I'm sure there's been cover-ups or whatever in some other cases. There's probably a lot of families that feel like they didn't get justice because of law enforcement, how they handled it or whatever. So who's advocating for them? What makes one life any more important than, or one more murder any more important than another? I mean, really, who is making videos after videos after videos and posting videos after videos of these other victims that have been murdered all the time? I don't see anybody else posting videos about those victims. It's just Bella and Cece, Bella and Cece, Bella and Cece. Not saying that Bella and Cece, based on the official narrative, should not have their, should not be remembered. But why so much time on just these three people? And three people who they've never met. They've never met once in their life. Don't know anything about them. Don't know any kind of person shenanigans, only based off her social media. And half of the time, actually not even half the time, the majority of her videos, she was selling Thrive. She was acting. She was a saleswoman. You don't know what she's like after she turns that camera off. She could be a horrible, terrible person. We don't know. I'm not saying she was or is. But that's the whole psychological, bullshit of this case. That's how psyops work, And if everybody knew, or the majority of people knew, that this was a psyop, then it probably wouldn't be a very good psyop, and it wouldn't be successful, and there wouldn't be more. I get that, Gary, but you can go and you can look up information on these cases. There's on smaller cases. This is the only case where they've given, where they gave us this much information. Name another case, and another homicide case, where they just released all this information. Body cam footage. Left the victim's Facebook account open for the whole world to see. Watch any of those true crime channels. They have smaller cases all the time. Why is there only some cases or some, homicides that seem to get more attention from the mainstream media than others? Again, why is one death deserve any more attention than another? Is my point. There's a reason why certain homicide cases are getting so much mainstream media attention. And I know, and I try to, put myself in other shoes, like, and think about, before I was aware of, what was going on with our government, and before pre 9/11, right? But that was younger then. But I mean, I didn't wake up to 9/11 until many years later. But I just try to remember that, just because I can see it, or maybe, Michelle can see it, or any of you guys in the chat can see it, doesn't mean that, everyone else is going to be able to just see it, especially after listening to one live stream. I don't expect anybody, I've said this many times, I don't expect anyone to just see and get everything that I'm saying by just one live stream or even a few. Sometimes, or the majority of people, they won't ever be able to see what's going on. Cognitive dissonance is a bitch. And for some reason as well, it seems like, you're not you're not allowed to question a victim because they're a victim. And for whatever reason, apparently victims are untouchable, even if they have bizarre behavior, they are causing chaos on social media, they are just their attitudes are shitty towards, let's be real, I'm talking about the Rusex, right? Okay. Look how the Rusex have treated a lot of these people in the true crime community who have spent 2.5 years trying to find the answers to all these unanswered questions that they left us with. Because they care, right? Because they care about Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico, right? But here you have the Rusex saying, shut up about the case. Don't talk about it. The case is closed. Chris Watts is in prison. That's who's guilty. No conspiracy theories. How about a thank you? We appreciate it. And yes, has he said that in an interview or in a news whatever that he gave? Yeah. But when you're telling us conspiracy theorists, which I don't even like to call myself, because again, that's just an ad hominem to give an excuse for people, not give an excuse, but to discredit anybody who actually asks questions and is a critical thinker. And that's one of the bigger red flags, is the fact that we're all trying to figure out the answers and seeking justice per se. I might be seeking justice in a different way than others, but we all know that this shit doesn't add up with this case. So why are the Rusex so convinced that the law enforcement did such an amazing job? When Rourke didn't even tell them that the girls were allegedly alive when Chris left the house. If that was me, if I was a Rusex, I'd be like, excuse me, Mr. Rourke, do you even know what the hell's going on in your own investigation? You're telling me that, first you tell me that they were all dead when Chris left, and now you're, coming out and telling me that they were alive? That worries me. That troubles me, DA Rourke. But you don't see the Rusex doing that. No, they are 100% convinced that all the guilty parties are behind bars and law enforcement was just amazing. Because if, in my opinion, if they were real victims and if this were real life, the Rusex would be at Rourke's door demanding answers as to why their loved ones are not here anymore. Instead of going on social media trying to convince all of us that we don't know what the hell we're talking about, right? And that the case is closed, nothing to see here. They would be doing what those wives did after 9/11 who were married to the firefighters that made a huge scene demanding answers as to why their husbands are no longer with them. But we don't see that. We don't see that from the Ruseks. We don't see that from the Watts. The Watts might be laying low. But people need to wake up with this case, like, and soon. Because with all this, these thumbnails with YouTube, whatever they say, YouTube allows abuse, that's when I start to get worried. Because that means that people are starting to demand something be done about this so-called harassment. And that's when you have the whole Hegelian dialectic, like I've been talking about for some time now, and a lot, and that I warned you guys about the minute that I made a video, the minute I saw Frank Rusek stand in front of the Watts house and point fingers at YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, accusing them of not doing anything about them being quote unquote harassed, I immediately saw like free speech being taken away. The start of it. Yeah, exactly, Michelle. The Smith-Mundt Act of 2012. Yeah, I've mentioned that several times. Okay, I think my mic went out, so I don't know when it happened, but hopefully I caught it soon. The Twats case, that's so funny, Elfin, you say that. I say that when I'm not covering the Watts case and I'm just talking outside of YouTube, but I don't remember what I was saying before my microphone went out. Something about the Ruseks. Oh, I remember. People need to wake up with this case. But the problem is too is that everybody wants their I always say everybody, and I need to stop doing that. And I probably should think of something else besides majority, because now I'm starting to say majority way too much. But I don't like to say everybody because I can't speak for everybody, or and that's not, that would be disinformation because not everybody, but the majority of people want to, have their own ending or their own conclusion as to what happened with this case, or any other case, right? So if you have hatred towards Nicole Kessinger or towards Chris Watts, it's going to be really difficult to even if you had all the evidence and information about this case, which we clearly don't, but even if you did, you're going to have so much tunnel vision that you're going to miss, you know, key evidence, because all you're going to see is, you know, Nicole Kessinger. I want her to go down, right? Because she lied, she deleted her text messages, she's a, you know, a homewrecker, whatever that may, whatever you don't like her for. I mean, do I like Nicole Kessinger? No. Is it because she was a, you know, sleeping with a married man, or because she lied to police or whatever? No. I dislike her because she lied to all of us. But I can also, I don't have a biased like opinion about this case at all, and that's why I'm not emotionally affected by it. Not because I'm heartless, right? But if you have any emotions towards this case, and that's what true crime is going to come with. People are always going to be emotionally affected by it. But again, you cannot. You're not going to be able to. You're going to miss a lot of evidence, right? Like I said, if you have already come to the conclusion pretty much that you want. So if you want Nicole Kessinger to be polygraphed and is sitting behind jail cells, and that's what that's what's going to happen in your mind, right? That makes sense. Mummy, yeah, Mummy. I'm not going to say the whole name, but yeah, Elfin. Hey, ADK. And that's, I'm glad you mentioned that, Elfin, because when the Ruseks were on that channel, there's a part in the live stream where she's reading off of that script. I don't know. I don't even know. I still don't even know what the hell it is, but it's again, it's not it's irrelevant. But she reads something about in the notes. I'm just gonna call it notes. That oh no, you're fine, Elfin. I don't. And again, you know, if you don't know me by now, you'll know that I don't care about other channel creators being mentioned, and especially if it's relevant to what's going on. So, hey Eddie, and so she reads something off the notes about how people believe that there's more to the Dirty South, and that Shanann was in some sort of embezzlement or something. Oh my God, these some of these theories. I again, I try not to like go there as far as like some of these crazy theories, but some of them are just so crazy. I mean, like straight out of a movie crazy. Like if they think my theory's crazy, I just don't get it. I do get it, but so they think that she was in some sort of like money laundering or embezzlement or something, right? And Frank Rusek says something like she was, you know, clearing Shanann's name as far as that goes, and she wasn't into anything. She worked hard at Dirty South, and you know, this isn't word for word, but and I still work at Dirty South. I'm like, you do? Okay, whatever. That's okay. I thought you did like cabinetry, but and Hisham or his sham, where it sounds like he's saying the way they said his name, it sounds like his sham, like a sham, because this whole thing is a sham, not a sham wow, but a sham, or shenanigans. Look at the definition of shenanigans. It's very interesting. And he says, well, for all those people that think they know everything, I'm going to have the Dirty South owner, I'm going to have him on my channel. And if you guys want the answer, if you guys want to ask questions and know the truth, then you can come on my channel and find out the truth. Wait, what? I thought you don't want people talking about the case and to stop talking about the case and to move on because the case is closed. But now you're enticing people on social media in the true crime community to go on to your channel or to go to your channel so that they can find the truth, right? Because you know everything, right? Because they had, like they said, they have all they know all the answers. They know more than we ever will. I mean, I don't understand how people can't see right past the bullshit with the Ruseks. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. I mean, they literally have contradicted themselves so many times since this whole thing has happened. First, they go on Dr. Phil and say that, gave us the impression that, saying the mistress deleted her text messages and she was calling her friend Jim and, giving us, hinting it to us, they think that she might be involved. And then turn around a couple months later and say, don't talk about the case, or you can talk about the case, but stick with the facts, no conspiracy theories, and then bring the lawyers into it. These lawyers who don't even look like lawyers, if lawyers have a look, but they, and say that, if we don't stop talking about conspiracy theories, then they might have to bring the law into it, right? Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back, okay? Sorry about that. I just wanted to. It's super hot here, so I wanted to check on my chickens, make sure they weren't like panting. And yeah, that's what it seems like, Eddie. The ours are the only one that are. That sounded weird that I said ours because I was like, I don't care. I'll say Rusek because it's a public case. It's a well-known mainstream case, and their information was made public, so we can talk about it. We're allowed to say their names. It's not against the law. They can't come after you. But they've contradicted themselves so many times. And it's clear that they're doing it on purpose. To me, it's clear that they are doing it on purpose. How are they going to say that they literally complain that they have been harassed and bullied and sent death threats and that they try to stay off social media, but people kept sending them information, right? Like sending them an email or text message or whatever. Okay, so you turn around and you literally engage and insert yourselves into social media, and not only social media, but the true crime community, where they talk about nothing. And I mentioned this earlier. All we do in true crime is talk about death and the deaths of your family. If you don't want to be harassed or anything like that, then you probably should not insert yourselves into social media where that's all they talk about is your case. What do you mean, Gary, that the R's are being paid to shut up? They're obviously clearly not shutting up, because that's all they've been doing is talking on social media. I plan on reading some of their comments that they've left too at some point, if it's not too long. Hey, April. You want people to stop talking about this case? The last thing you should do is stir people up and go, yeah, why don't you come over to my YouTube channel and I'm going to have the Dirty South owner on, and then you can find out the truth. Oh, because that's going to get people to stop talking about the case, Frank. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know, Elfin. That's it's funny you mentioned that, because paranormal brings in the views. People love it. And you know what it does is it steers everyone in the opposite direction of the truth. And they're entertained, and they get caught up in all of that, I guess. I mean, but the Ruseks have literally contradicted themselves so many times. And it's not like they're hiding it. It's not like they're hiding it. But you cannot sit there and complain about being harassed. And again, that's what they're claiming. They're literally claiming, because there's no proof that they've been sent death threats or being harassed. Talking about a mainstream high-profile case on social media is not harassment. But that's what they're trying to what they're trying to do with their agenda right now, that I've been trying to warn everybody about. They're trying to cause chaos in the true crime community and divide everyone. Pro Watts, pro Ruseks. I advocate for Ruseks. Encouraging channel creators to mock and ridicule other channel creators that don't support the Ruseks. And I don't do the whole victim thing. I don't do the whole victim card thing, especially when these victims are hypocritical and constantly contradict themselves. Because if you are truly a victim, you would not make fun of other people who have been victim to something at some point in their lives. That's like hypocrisy at its finest. But they're playing the whole we're victims, we're victims, we're victims. Well, I stopped feeling sorry for you, Ruseks, when you talked down to us and said, ha ha ha, we know more than you'll ever know. We have all the answers and you don't. Ha 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 ha. Excuse me? Excuse me. Is that behavior from someone who's a good person and cares about others? No, it's not. Being a victim does not make you like invincible or immune to any, or given immunity to any criticism or being questioned about their behavior or things that don't have, like it. The whole, like, I don't know if this is the right word, the whole mentality about this victim thing is just, it blows my mind. And I'm trying to think of a better example that I've used before a couple of times recently, but it's like, and I just always use like Ted Bundy or something, like let's say, for instance, he was victim, maybe his mother was killed, right? Or somebody murdered his mother, right? And then I just said right twice. And then he goes and does this thing that he's infamous for, and kills a bunch of people. I don't see the majority of people going, you can't accuse Ted Bundy of being a murderer. He is a victim, Megan. He is a victim. His mother was murdered. How dare you? How dare you accuse Ted Bundy of murdering all those women? Because there's evidence to prove that he did. That's why I'm going to do it. Or his shit doesn't add up, what he's saying. That's horrible that his mother was, and this is just an example. So if anybody's just coming in, Ted Bundy's mother was not murdered, as far as I know. I don't know if that's a good example, but that's the only one that I can think of as of now, because I haven't thought more about it since then. But hopefully you guys get my point. But being a victim does not make you a good person. It doesn't make you a saint. It doesn't mean that you don't lie. It doesn't mean that you don't have some sort of agenda. It doesn't mean that you're not playing the victim card, so that anytime somebody does call them out on their bullshit, they get attacked. Because how dare you? They're victims. You don't even know the Ruseks. You don't even know the Watts. You don't know anything about these two families except for what we've been told on social media, or from them, from law enforcement, and from the mainstream media. You don't know what they're like in real life. And the crazy part is they're not even hiding the kind of people they are, because they're literally rude to people. You think you know, you don't know. You don't know anything. We know it all. Ha ha ha. And all these idiots on social media thinking they know everything about the case. Why in the hell do you think that people on social media are coming up with all these theories? Because your great law enforcement that you praise every single day and convince us how great they are, that there's no conspiracy. And if anybody tries to convince you that there's no conspiracy, then there probably is a conspiracy. Just saying. But if your fantastic law enforcement buddies didn't leave us with all these unanswered questions, which I know why they did, but based off the official narrative, people in the true crime community wouldn't have to be trying to find out all these answers. And the majority of them are doing it because they care. And the other, okay, not the majority, but half are doing it because they care. And the other half, I don't even know if that's the right percentage, but some people are doing it because they care, and some people are doing it because they're just doing it for the money. That works. Hey, Melissa. So this whole just they're a victim, they're untouchable thing is absolutely ridiculous, and it drives me crazy. Sue, did I say hi to you? If I didn't, I apologize. And if I did already, then just ignore me saying hi again. But hello. I was just talking about you earlier, Melissa. About the your lives that you've been doing, about all the conspiracy theories. I literally, when Melissa's live, I run to her live streams because I feel so comfortable there, and I don't get attacked, and I know a lot about it. So I think it's great that you're covering all that stuff. Really, Alexis? That's weird. See, I don't even know. I don't know actually a lot about true crime, even though I've been in here for over 2.5 years. I know some just from because I was, fascinated with it and I watched the documentaries, but definitely don't know as much as you guys do. That's for sure. Yeah, exactly. Pride or honesty. And Coonrod didn't even go into all the bedrooms or all the rooms in the house to make sure that they weren't in there or that anybody was in there, any intruder or whatever. So I did write down like a couple notes here, but actually, while I'm on the Rusex here, I'm not going to like show them. They are in my Discord, a couple of them. I have many screenshots from this case. I don't even, there's so many. I actually had to put a lot of them on my computer because it filled up my phone memory. But I'm always taking screenshots just so you all know. Careful what you say. No, but I do because it's so much better proof than just saying he said, she said. So I just, you never know. So I take screenshots all the time. Now these are back, I don't know if you guys remember when those advocate channels that I mentioned a little bit ago were really, support in support of the Rusex. And this is when the Rusex started to actually engage themselves in social media and actually became moderators of some of these channels. Yeah, Veronica, exactly. And that's what I was going to mention earlier is on Dr. Phil, how they were, giving us the impression that they thought that NK was involved. But then they go on their channel on YouTube, which they make channels for themselves too. We try to stay away from social media, but hey, let's actually, all three of us, let's make a YouTube channel. Because that makes sense. But they go on their community page and try to go out of their way to convince us that Nicole Kessinger wasn't involved in any of the murders. Now, do I agree with them in a sense? Yes, based on my theory. But the point is they just keep flip-flopping and they keep changing. It's to cause confusion. It's to tell people what they want to hear, to tell people what they don't want to hear, to keep people interested in the case so that they don't stop talking about it, so that they can further push their agenda. And in my opinion, it's the removal of free speech. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know how long it's going to take, but sooner or later, at some point, the only Watts videos that are going to be left on YouTube are going to be the ones that go with the official narrative, or the paranormal ones, or the body language expert ones, or your Dr. Phil's, or your mainstream media. Those are that's all that's going to be left, just like Las Vegas. Okay, shoot, I should have put your name in there. There's a link to Melissa Jade's channel. Please, if you guys have time, check it out. And if you like the content, please subscribe. She's doing a fantastic job, and I really, really enjoy being in her live streams. Okay, so you're welcome, Melissa. You're very welcome. Let me get to my screenshots here. Oh, and so what I was saying is these screenshots are from, quite some time ago, but when all that advocating channel was going on and all that chaos. But it's important to what's going on again with all this. Sorry, my microphone went out again. Think I should be good now. Hopefully. Okay, we're good. Okay, so obviously I don't know everything that was going on in this live stream because it was a long time ago, but this is again with the Advocate channel, and when they were pushing Shenan's Law, hashtag Shenan's Law. So Sandra is in the chat of this channel, and her comment says, "Get a hold of Congress to pass Shenan Law." And I think that whole Shenan's Law thing failed. And that's when they had to turn to other measures to try to get people worked up to start demanding that something be done. It would remind me to go back to this other comment that I just took a screenshot of yesterday. That was pretty interesting, but I don't want to get off track. So this one I just found interesting because of the whole, occult symbolism in this case. Sandra says, "Pull that snake out from behind the cross, Martin." Obviously, they're talking about Martin Dehan, and I have not watched too much of his content, even when everything was going on. But she says, "Pull that snake out from behind the cross, Martin. Bring it in the light." I mean, remember, these are what we've been led to believe are victims who have said over and over again that they are trying to say that they try to stay away from social media, but they have literally inserted themselves into social media. They've done the complete opposite. I mean, they are causing the harassment. Like, that's what I'm trying to show here, is they're literally causing this chaos. So if there's any harassment that's going on towards them, it's because they've created it. Okay, sorry, I'm just looking for another one. Okay. Okay, here's Frankie Rusek Jr. Oh, that's sweet of you, Mary. We just need to share my GoFundMe and get this ball rolling. Either way, I'm already into it. GoFundMe for what, Frankie Jr.? How long has Frankie Jr. and the Ruseks been peddling for money on their channel? How many more donations do you need to supposedly get lawyers to shut down or stop these channel creators or whoever from harassing you? How long have they been saying that they're going to use that money for lawyers? And nothing has happened. Because they can't. They cannot legally just stop people from discussing a case. And that's why you have the Honor Network, Honor, that is literally going in there and scrubbing information. And they admit it. They said that they're scrubbing the information. Which is not harassment. It's asking questions about a case that doesn't add up. Same live stream, Frankie Rusek Jr. says, people, oh, and mind you, Frankie Rusek Jr. is a moderator on this channel. Fancy. People keep asking stupid fucking questions. We're not trying to stop people from talking about the case. We know you guys have too much time on your hands and will never stop. We just want the bullshit. And then I don't know what happened to the comment. I'm assuming he said we just want the bullshit to stop. What kind of victim talks like this? Does being a victim give you an excuse to behave this way? I guess so, because I've heard several people say they're hurting. They have been through so much tragedy, Megan. They're trying to cope. This is not coping. This is bullshit. This is playing the victim card to further your agenda. But so many people fall for it. So many people think that just because you're a victim, it's okay to behave this way. No, it's not. And whoever wants to call me a terrible person and for talking about the Ruseks this way, then so be it. But I'm not going to sit back and just let them cause all this chaos when clearly, in my opinion, they have an agenda. If they didn't, they would do what they're supposed to do and stay off social media, as far away from social media as possible. And not only that, but you wouldn't go on Dr. Phil and publicize the case and the deaths of your family members more than it already was. And you surely wouldn't live stream the funeral on Facebook if you did not want people to talk about the case or to have your family members, publicized that way. And you would not keep your daughter's Facebook account public for over 2.5 years now. I don't know if it's still up, but for at least 2 years, it was public. If you didn't want people talking about the case, shut down Shanann's Facebook. But no, they can't do that, because then how would they pull at people's heartstrings? How would we all go and watch Shanann's videos over and over and over again multiple times? How would any of these other channel creators be able to post video over video after video after video of Bella and Cece and just really, really pull at those heartstrings? They wouldn't be able to do that. They wouldn't be able to push the psychological bullshit. That's how, that's just one piece of how these psyops work. That's why they make them as tragic as possible so that people just get emotional and they just react. They don't think, even though, you know, a lot of it doesn't seem plausible, but it doesn't matter because they're so upset and to know that innocent lives were taken, especially children and, you know, and women. But that's why, you know, that's why they're amazing, and they work. They know how to trigger people. They know how to pull people in. So just one more time, I'm going to read Frankie Jr.'s comment again. People keep asking stupid fucking questions. We're not trying to stop people from talking about the case. Huh? Because I'm pretty sure, Frankie Jr., that I have heard you and Frank Sr. and Sandy say multiple times, stop talking about, and your lawyers, by the way, stop talking about the case. The case is over. It's closed. Chris is behind bars. He's the only one that's guilty. Stop talking about our family. But why isn't anybody calling him out on them contradicting themselves? Oh, that's right, because they're victims. Victims aren't allowed to be called out on being hypocritical and contradicting themselves, or for their crazy behavior. That's probably putting it lightly. And causing chaos. And for talking down to people that have done nothing but try to find the answers for these victims, quote unquote. Sandra Ornati says, we are still victims. Please leave us alone. Or please, I'm sorry. We are still victims. Please leave us alone, please. How can you expect people to leave you alone when you have literally inserted yourself into the true crime community? Like, I don't know how many, I know I sound repetitive, but it just blows my mind that there are so many people who just cannot, I just don't know how they don't see past this bullshit. I'm sorry, but it's just crazy to me. And not only that, but she's a moderator too for this channel. I mean, they are, if anybody's saying that they're being paid to be kept quiet or to keep quiet, clearly the Rusaks have been talking a whole bunch for 2 years now. I don't think they've ever been quiet, except for when the Netflix documentary came out, which they should, because they just got done telling people to not talk about the case, and then they go and work with Netflix. Yeah, okay. Because that's not going to get people talking about the case more. Again, asking questions and theorizing what happened in a case that we've been left with so many unanswered questions is not harassment. Especially when, again, they did more than enough to publicize the deaths and are still doing. So in this particular live stream, this is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Daniel Bishop. I have not watched his content in quite some time. I don't even know if he's still making videos on the case, but this is from that whole circus. And there's many, many more of these. These are just the ones that I still happen to have on my phone and not on my computer. Frankie Rusick Jr. says, I'm asking you why you talk shit about me, Daniel. Answer my fucking question. Okay. Back to the Advocate channel. Sandra Oronati says, what gets us mad is people are trying to figure out the case. The case is closed. The killer is behind bars forever. Why aren't people allowed to figure out the case? Why does that make you mad? And why are you trying so hard to convince us that the case is closed? And why the fuck are you on social media? I'm sorry, but it irks me. Trying to stay, again, neutral here, but it's they need to be called out. They really do. And you guys know that I'm totally against drama, but this is not drama. This is calling, even if I just forget my theory, right? Let's even based off the official narrative or just the cover-up theory that law enforcement is trying to, cover up the whole case, or Anna Dark or whoever. What gives them the right to act this way? Why are they telling people that they don't want them talking about the case, but then stirring the pot and adding fuel to the fire every time they open their freaking mouths on social media? You want people to stop talking about the case? Get the hell off of social media and stop causing all of this to happen. Because every time they go on a channel creator or they post on their community page or whatever, all that does is make people want to talk about the case more, and they know that. Again, Sandra, what gets us mad is people are trying to figure out the case. The case is closed. The killer is behind bars forever. So apparently we must all be wrong, right? Because everything adds up. This is from Frankie Rusick Jr.'s community page. Again, this was, I'm sure it's still posted there. You can go and vet this information for yourselves. But again, I don't need to, expose all of it in the screenshots for everyone to see, because it's out there. So on Frank Rusick Jr.'s community page, here is a link to a fundraiser I made. It's an attempt to put a stop to the constant torment, harassment, bullying, and the evil people trying to ruin my life. We all know who I am talking about. Thank you, and God bless you all. And then he puts his GoFundMe link. I mentioned this earlier. Where's the lawyers? Where's the attorneys? Where is the justice? I haven't seen AD get taken down by the Rusicks lawyers. He's still going strong. He's got monetization. He's got super chats. Nothing wrong with that. If people want to donate their hard-earned money to him, that's on them. But what I'm saying is, how can there be a channel that has so much controversy and so many people that are clearly dislike him and trying to take him down, but yet, and not to mention that he's had several strikes and been in YouTube timeout several times, but his channel's still up. That's like for anybody else who is claiming to be a truther and who is going against the government mainstream media narrative is still up on YouTube, that's a red flag to me. Hey, Alfred. And again, this was many months ago. So where's the lawyers? Why isn't AD taken down? Why doesn't anybody else have an issue with taken down? Because they can't. They cannot, by law, sue anyone or take anyone to court for simply talking about a very, very publicized case. So what they're doing is really pushing that victim card, getting everybody stirred up, bringing in Lana and KK and accusing Shanann of killing the babies and or Bella and Cece. And yeah, you can do that, right? You can literally accuse a murder victim of murder, of murdering her own children. But oh, no. YouTube says you are not allowed to question the authenticity of a well-documented event, even though that event has many holes and red flags in its narrative. But yep, you can accuse Nicole Kessinger of murder. You can accuse her of being an accomplice to murder. You can accuse her of being on drugs. You can accuse her of drugging somebody to commit murder. You can, whatever, you name it. You can accuse them of whatever you like. But yet, KK's channel's up, Lana's channel's up, literally accusing says the narrative, deceased woman of murdering her own children with no evidence to back that up. As far as I know, I don't think they have had any strikes. But I simply just go over the anatomy of a false flag in text and I get a strike for simply talking. And a false flag, the definition is in, as far as I know, Wikipedia. So why is Wikipedia allowed to talk about a false flag and what that consists of? But I'm not allowed to talk about it on a live stream. So since the whole Frank Rusek thing, standing in front of the Watts house and pointing fingers at the big platforms and accusing them of not doing anything about the harassment that they're allegedly receiving, that didn't cause enough people to get stirred up to start demanding that something be done. So they had to, take a different route with the Hegelian dialectic. So when people didn't make a big enough fuss about that, that's when the Ruseks inserted themselves into social media, started causing this division, playing the victim card still, and pushing that hashtag Shanann's Law. But then when that died down and nobody made a big enough hype about it, in comes Lana and KK out of nowhere 2 years later, right? They might have been intertwined in the Facebook, whatever, but they literally came out of nowhere and just started causing all this chaos. And people were getting pissed because they're accusing Shanann of killing Bella and Cece. So they're trying to get people pissed off enough. How dare you? How dare you accuse a murder victim of killing her babies? And then when that didn't get people stirred up enough and start demanding that something be done, now you have, several channels that are, that the Ruseks are saying, oh, we're being, they're not going away. The Ruseks are not going away. Why? Again, stay off social media. but they're still saying, we're victims, we're being doxxed, we're being harassed, we're being sent death threats. And now with all this, now we're starting to see those, like I mentioned earlier, YouTube allows abuse. YouTube is whatever. I don't know what they say exactly, but I'm starting to see them everywhere, and that's what worries me. The Ruseks are pushing an agenda. We are not seeing what should be, considered normal behavior from victims. Like, you don't, again, it's, and I know I sound repetitive, but I think I just feel like I have to be, because you do not do the opposite of what you should do. And one, complain that you're trying to stay away from social media, but you can't, and then literally engage yourself in social media and the true crime community, where all we talk about is freaking death and the death of your family. Okay, just stop. So, like, I'm sorry, but it just drives me crazy. And I think that I've been respectful enough. And respectful is not getting me anywhere. It's not getting you guys anywhere. It's wasting time. And I'm certainly not going to sit back knowing that that's what they're doing and allow it to happen and not say anything or do anything, or at least try. Because all of these people that have that YouTube allows abuse thumbnails, they're going to be the ones that are going to ruin it for us. Because they're going to think that they are doing what's right for society. Not saying that that's, that they're bad people or anything. Of course, they're doing it because they care, as far as I know, right? They're doing it because they want the harassment to stop of victims, which makes sense. But it's, what about everybody else that gets harassed on social media? Why is it that only victims, the harassment from victims, needs to stop? We're all a victim to something at some point in our lives, right? So why aren't they demanding that all harassment stop? Why not just victims? I mean, why just victims? But the ones, like I said, with those YouTube thumbnails, the ones that are starting to worry me, they think that they're doing something good for society by demanding that something be done about this harassment. But little do they know, they're literally begging for their rights to get taken away. So while they think that they're doing something good and protecting these victims, they are literally going to wake up, like I said earlier in the stream, they're going to wake up before you know it, and they're not going to be able to talk about their favorite true crime case. They're not going to be able to talk about all these theories. It's not going to just affect channel creators, but it's going to affect you guys as well. I truly think that their goal is to get rid of any independent journalism or journalists or armchair detectives, not one in particular, but in general, off of social media, and only have mainstream media news sources. So again, the Hegelian dialectic is what is happening, and it's been happening with this case. And other cases as well. They use it all the time, whether it be for gun control. If you'll notice with these tragic events, which I'm going to mention here in just a moment, I know that we're going 2 hours in now. I'm going to try and keep this under at least 2.5. Because I don't know, I see the 3-hour thing and I'm like, oh God. Usually, I don't know about always, but a lot of the times with these high profile tragic events, you will immediately see some sort of law, like just, the next day or within days, some law that's trying to be passed when, the autopsies aren't even freaking complete yet, right? Or they don't even know the whole story. They haven't even done a full investigation yet. You'll see, again, some sort of law being passed, something to push and take one of our rights away. Like #Shenan's Law. So before I go into the law thing, that's the laws that are passed. What did I just say? Take two. Back to the Hegelian dialectic thing, which again, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's so important. Important. I don't know why I said it like that either. It's not as easy as it looks, okay? So the Ruseks are causing a problem. And for a while now, they've been trying to accomplish this. So they're causing a problem. They're creating, they're pulling the whole victim card thing, claiming harassment and death threats, demanding that these main social media platforms, right? These big social media platforms claim, accusing them of not doing anything of harassment, even though they've had, their lawyers contact them. And what did Frank Rusek say? To no avail. So they're pointing their fingers and accusing of these platforms, these big social media platforms, that they're not doing anything about harassment on their platform. And that's when they're expecting all of us to get outraged, to get emotional, and start demanding that something be done about these platforms not doing anything about the harassment. And that's when we turn to them for a solution to that problem, not realizing that they were the ones who actually created the problem in the first place. And essentially giving up our rights to them, but not realizing it. If that makes sense. So that's why they have to orchestrate these events, you guys, because they cannot just come out and say, hey, we don't want you to have any pew 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 items in your home or on your person, right? We don't want you to have the ability to protect yourself or your family. But hey, we're just being honest, okay? So, should give us credit for that, because you're always saying how, us politicians should be honest. They can't just come out and say, we're going to take your pew pew pews away from you. That would be stupid. It would never work. And they know that. The public would not go for that. You can't just tell the public that you're going to take away their constitutional rights. So that's why they have to orchestrate things like mass shootings and school shootings and terrorist attacks. And make them mainstream, and so that as many people see it and say, oh my God, something needs to be done. Please stop these mass shootings, these school shootings, these innocent people from dying because of these pew pew pews, right? So what do? They turn to the government and say, please stop do whatever you have to do. Just stop people from dying, right? And we turn to them for that solution, not realizing that they were the ones that created the problem in the first place. And what's the solution? Gun control. Bump stocks. A little bit at a time. And yes, granted, they do believe that they are doing something good for society, but they're really doing so much more damage. So they have to trick us. And so with the Watts case, same thing. Now it's social media, but that's just one agenda. I'm not going to get into all the agendas of this case right now, but free speech is one of them. Fear, another one. Money, etc., etc. Multiple agendas for all these events. Because they're not going to go through all of that to potentially gain one thing. They're not stupid. Okay, so now back to the whole pushing the law, some sort of law or whatever right after these events. That's one of the red flags to look out for, is if you see a lot of demanding of something be taken away from us. Okay, so I actually found this. I was actually looking up Nick Thayer's Facebook. I don't remember what for, but stalking. I feel like a stalker. Then I actually just happened to run into Nicholas Atkinson's. I think it's a different Facebook account because I stalked Nicholas Atkinson's at one point as well. I'm not proud of it, but I did. Okay, that's what you got to do to find out information. You got to stalk some people. But hey, they leave their accounts public, and that's their own fault. That's what I say. So I just happened to click on, just out of curiosity, I clicked on Nicholas Atkinson's Facebook, scrolled down on his timeline, and saw this petition that I think I'd have to double check, and I should have done that again because, I should have done that because last time I brought this up, I said I was going to do that. But I think I want to say, and it's not positive, so don't come after me for this. I will at some point when I get a chance check again. But I think it was like about 5 days after the murders, so like around the 18th, that this was posted on Nicholas Atkinson's Facebook. Like 5 days, right? And they didn't even find, says the official narrative, Shanann and the girls' bodies until what, the 16th? I don't even think the autopsies were done by that point. Chris just confessed, but he didn't confess to the girls. So anyway, I just 5 days after to already start pushing this is a red flag to me. Just saying. Let me see if I can make it bigger here. Yeah, I like using OBS because oh shoot, wrong screen. When I'm on DLive, I can crop out all this crap around it. Nice, but not with StreamYard. Okay, well, I'll still read it. And I still don't know the date of this. I think I know there's a way you can do it. Put something in the URL here, and then you can pull up the information on the page and find the date. But I didn't say the exact date on these petition things. It's kind of annoying. But we can assume that it was on Nicholas Atkinson's timeline on his Facebook page or Facebook account that minimum, 5 days after. Change Colorado's unborn murder law and charge Chris Watts with 4th count of murder. So he has not even been technically, he didn't take the plea deal at this point. This is literally less than a week after this happened, you guys. He had not even pled guilty. Just because he confessed to killing Shanann. And they're already pushing for it. And this is coming from, we know how everybody that knew him in the case said, that they thought Chris was amazing. He was a great husband. He was a loving father. He couldn't hurt a fly. He was always on time to work. Great employee. I mean, nobody had anything negative to say about the guy. Of course, that's done for a reason, but I won't get into that either. But the fact that everybody involved in this case that allegedly knew him, based on the official narrative, had nothing but great things to say about the guy. But then the minute that they found out that he backed his truck into the driveway, oh, yeah, I knew he had something to do with it. I just knew it. The Ruseks were like, oh, we love him like a son. He's a great son-in-law. Don't have anything bad to say about the guy, Frank Rusek says. But Frankie Jr. says, we knew. We knew the minute he backed his truck into the driveway, he had done something. Can the guy, maybe he was getting a little, Shanann was out of town and she's always, hey, you can't park your truck in the driveway because I don't want the oil to leak on it. Maybe he was getting a little ballsy and he was like, you know what? I'm going to back my truck into the driveway and I'm going to get a little bit of oil on it. What are you going to do? Right? Could he have maybe done that? That doesn't make anybody guilty because they backed their freaking truck into the driveway, but apparently it does. Says all the people that were saying such great things about him. So my point is, and I do get to my points eventually. 5 days after, less than a week, they're already put for this man that they had so many great things to say about him. Hey, Dan. So many great things to say about the guy, but they're already pushing that he get another murder charge. Okay, Melissa, I'll try to keep my voice down so you can go to sleep. I'll stop yelling. I'm not yelling. I'm just trying to speak more clearly for you guys because I know that I mumble sometimes. Okay. Hey, Bradical. Good to see you. I knew I saw you sneak in there. I had to scroll up to make sure. Okay, Brittany Brasher. I don't know who Brittany Brasher is, but apparently she's the one that started this petition to Governor John Hickenlooper. Great guy, by the way. He's a geologist that is a pro-fracker. He's a pro-fracking. Whatever you want to call him. He's a freaking fracker. That's putting it lightly. Not a good guy. Oh, and who also appointed D.A. Rourke, by the way, to take his position. Chris Watts is admitted to killing his wife, Shanann Watts. Shanann Watts was pregnant with a baby. A baby boy that they planned to call Nico. When she was murdered, so was baby Nico. Colorado currently does not have a law that would charge Chris Watts in the murder of unborn baby boy Nico. I don't know why they capitalized all that, but please join our fight to have this changed and this monster charged with a 4th count of capital murder. Chris Watts has been formally charged with murder against Shanann Watts and their 2 born daughters, Bella and Celeste. Please sign and share this petition. Hashtag justice for Shanann. Hashtag justice for Celeste, Bella, and Nico. Hashtag Nico's Law. Again, this is only less than a week after the event happened, right? August 13th. And they're already pushing for this guy to get a 4th murder charge. So when you see something like this, you guys, in these future high-profile tragic events, especially the ones that, and it seems to me like the majority of them all have red flags that are, if any, I would question pretty much at this point any of these mainstream high-profile events, tragic events. But especially if they have red flags and holes in their narrative, and you see something like this just days afterwards, probably an agenda going on here. I'm aware that even with the growing support, it may not be possible that this will affect the charges against Chris Watts, but it is my hope that if it doesn't, it does soon go into effect, and that not just Colorado, but every state adopt this law for any, God forbid, case like this in the future. I think it should be called Nico's Law. Oh, that too, Orbital, yeah. But there was a, as far as waking up the kids, but I know that they said in the discovery, not that I consider any of it true, but I'm just, again, based off of the official narrative, there was mentioned that Shanann didn't like Chris parking in the driveway because of the oil, but also because of waking up the kids, based off the official narrative. But yes, you are correct. Okay, so 107,105 have signed. Let's get to 150,000. Nicole Atkinson signed this petition, Brandy Darnell, and Mark Kashersky. Okay, sorry, I'm not trying to dox anybody, but it is public record, so. So that whole died as a result of trying to remember what the word, how it went. The charge that Chris got for the whatever is a result of the fetus, or you guys know what I'm talking about. Someone can help me out, please. But it was always weird to me, that whole charge about the unlawful termination of a pregnancy. That's what it was. Unlawful termination of a pregnancy. Because, and a lot of other people have said as well, that it's just nothing, it doesn't fit, or what's going on with it. It's not transparent. And what that means. Like, why is he being charged with that? What, so I always had this feeling that there was some sort of reason why that was put in his plea deal, and that they're going to try to pass some sort of law in regards to that. Now, I don't know how it would benefit them. Like, I guess I'm just having maybe a space cadet moment with this whole petition and the charge, unlawful termination of a pregnancy, on in regards as to how it would benefit the powers that be if it passed. Good night, Elfin. Thank you so much for being here. And did you ever get in touch with me about joining my Discord so that we could talk about some things? Sounds like you're in trouble. because I really like to hear your input on this case and other stuff as well. But again, I'm not exactly certain because I mean he got charged with that fourth with Nico's death, right? Am I correct on that? But when did this law officially, if he was, actually charged with that, with the death of Nico, then when did this, go into effect? With 107,105 signatures enough to get that? And why is this still up? you you left a comment where, Elfin? On my Discord? On my Discord? So, Elfin, I know you want to go to bed. So we'll figure it out, though. Yeah, I do. I have Discord, and I would love for anyone who's interested to join because I can obviously discuss my theory in the case more freely, actually 100% as of now. Who knows when? I know that Discord has started censoring some people, but I'm not censored on my own Discord server, and nor are you guys. And it's also a way to get in contact with me if you guys do have any questions, besides email, because I'm terrible at checking my email and it just takes a lot to respond back. Not that I don't mind doing it, but I am bad about checking it every day. And with the Discord, you have DM direct messaging, which is so much easier. And not only that, but also you guys have a place where you don't have to worry about anybody attacking you for asking questions about my theory or anything or any other theory for that matter, and not have to worry about being attacked. So okay, Alexis, yeah. I should remember, but if not, remind me if you can, and I will drop my Discord link. I think it'll probably be, there's a certain amount of time for you to use the link before it expires. Just that way it prevents, unwanted individuals going in there and ruining it for everybody. So you just make sure that you do it within a day. I think you can set it from an hour to never expiring. So yeah, so I would be curious to know if and when this law did get passed in order to charge Chris, if I am correct, or if I'm understanding correctly, that he did get charged with the death of Nico. Or because, like I said, it's worded weird. That died as a result of termination of pregnancy. I don't know. I don't do the law jargon stuff. It makes my brain hurt. So maybe that's something I could look into trying to find. Also, what's interesting is there was a petition started, and when do these petitions ever? As far as I know, they great that people want to make change or whatever, but I don't mean to be negative Nancy, but when have these petitions ever resulted in anything happening, right? To me, it doesn't seem like 107,000 signatures would be enough to get Congress's attention, or whoever, state officials. But there was another petition on the same website where it was claiming that Chris Watts was a crisis actor and that everything was fake. And do you think that that's still up, that petition? Because I tried clicking on it. Nope, it's gone. It's removed. Okay, so now I'm just going to, I know that's okay. It's crap. I said under 2.5 hours. Yeah, okay, maybe I'll save the body cam footage. I saved like a few videos of different body cam footage of welfare checks to compare to the Watts case body cam footage. But it's 2.5 hours, and my voice is getting hoarse, of course. And I hope that I know that I'm terrible at paying attention to the chat. I did try because it's right in front of me. But I am trying to pay more attention to that and not get on my rants. But that whole victim card reset thing, it drives me insane. It's just so, like, I know that it's obvious to me, and I know that it's like, for example, somebody can show me a word problem, right, or formula, a mathematical formula 20 times, and I will probably never understand it fully because I'm not good at math, right? It's not something that I excel in. So I try to remember that when I can see something, maybe it's more easily than somebody else might. I don't know if that's a good example, but just because I think it's obvious what they're doing, it doesn't mean that other people are gonna see that as easily. So I do try to put myself in other shoes and try to remember that. But it's very frustrating because they're not even hiding it. That's the thing. They're literally causing chaos in front of everybody and saying, we don't give a shit. We don't want you talking about the case. Stop talking about the case. We know more than you. You don't. I do always say that, huh, Alexis? Well, I just like my drinks really cold, especially if it's one that I don't know, like a Red Bull, where I don't prefer ice in it that often. But anyway, I just don't like warm drinks. And if I get a drink with ice in it at the beginning of the stream, it'll be warm by then. Oh no, you're fine, Michelle. No, yeah, I'm glad that you guys are conversing. I always want to say talk amongst yourselves, but I can never say that without saying it slowly. Well, talk amongst yourselves. Oh, here, I'm thinking about it. I'll put the Discord link. Alexis, if you're still here, or anybody else as well that wants to join, please. Would love to have you guys. Oh, and not only that, but as far as the being able to discuss the case or whatever else, and not have to be attacked, and being able to get in touch with me easier. You also get, I don't know exactly how to do the YouTube ones. I don't know if Streamlabs is set up for that on Discord, but as far as DLive goes, I know that some people are not getting my DLive notifications either. But if you're in my Discord server, you will get notifications that I'm live on DLive in case you don't get them directly from DLive. So that's a positive, I think. To me, anyways. Sometimes Tidy Labs doesn't even let people know that I'm live until like 45 minutes after I'm live, but at least they let people know. But it's been actually, they've been pretty good, like maybe 1 or 2 minutes after I go live. So okay. Sorry, I can't talk and do it at the same time. That I can't multitask. Okay, so there is the link to my Discord if you're interested. It will expire in 1 day. And if you do join the Discord and you have a different name than on here, just obviously let me know so that I know that it's you. And luckily, I don't get hopefully too many lurkers since there's not that many people here, anyways. Um, but I'm glad you guys are here. I appreciate everyone being here. And for, like I said, for your support. I know that I say this every time, but I really do. I appreciate you guys all hearing me out and just giving me the benefit of the doubt and to and not completely discredit my theory. I guess this goes more for the anyone who's new here that stuck around. But I'm just gonna go now. I don't know why I always try to do these crazy sign off things, but no. Thank you so much, you guys, and I will also put my DLive link in the chat as well. I play. I stream every day on there, and it's all different content, but a lot of it is relevant to what's going on, not only with this case, but what's going on in other events as well that are following the same itinerary, the same agendas, and I show that other people are talking about it as well, not just me. So I highly encourage you to follow me on DLive because it's important to see all of that I can't unfortunately show on here. So that being said, thank you again, and I will see you guys next time.